we would hopefully would hear from Hopefully, we would hear from Brother Rainier, Sister Rudy, Brother Noel, Sister Cindy, Sister Annie, and drop your answers in the YouTube live chat po, and we'll read some of your thoughts later. And of course, as we have this very exciting topic for today, the secret to your job in
You. Joining us today is someone who has been on the other side of the interview table many times. He's an HR officer with years of experience
screening applicants and helping them shine. Please welcome Vivas. Hello po, Brother Derek.
Hello po, hi sisters, and hello po to our viewers and listeners. I'm Brother Derek po.
Brother Derek, from what local congregation are you from po?
Sorry, from the local congregation of Manukau South, district of New Zealand North.
Wow. Okay. Brother, before we get into the serious stuff po, we just ask our learners about funny or surprising moments in interviews. Got any memorable ones from your side po?
Yes, there were a lot of memorable and funny moments when I was conducting interviews. One of them is which I forgot to print out the CV of the person I'm interviewing. So I come into the room interviewing that person, not getting the idea who the person is in this experience. So I had to improvise and find ways to get information regarding that person's experience and competencies. And yes, that happened a couple of times, and those are like really funny moments.
So what's your first question po? For that.
Usually the first question, just to pretend that mistake wasn't too obvious, is tell me more about yourself, your experience, and what are you applying for today?
So we will hear more from Brother Derek. So stay with us. Brother Mario Oka, Brother Benji Sanchez, Sister Cherry Santayo. Stay with us. Whether you've got an interview coming up or just want to feel more confident about your next career move, this episode is for you. Keep sharing your thoughts. We'll be back after a short break.
To subscribe to the official INC Radio YouTube channel, go to your browser and type youtube.com. Search for INC Radio at the search bar and make sure to click on the subscribe button. Don't forget to click the notification bell button to be updated with the different news and updates around the world.
Hello, lunchmates! Tune in to our episode this Sunday, April 20, and discover how interactive tools and easy access to information can transform education and prepare learners for a digital future. Don't miss this insightful discussion from 11 a.m. to 12 noon, Philippine Standard Time, exclusively at
INCRadio Hong Kong Satellite Studio, your Sunday lunch date.
An honorable livelihood is earned through honest work, integrity, and dedication, contributing positively to society. It upholds moral values, respects the dignity of others, and provides for one's needs without causing harm. Let's meet the Aragao family from Thailand as they share about their honorable livelihood here at the home of the Cheerful Hearts family this Saturday, April 19 at 1 p.m. Philippine time. See you there!
Ko Chennai Cherayo Irirangi, INC Radio DZEM 954. Te Korero Whakapono, Ko Cherayo Irirangi o Te Hahi, Karaiti Whare Harakia.
Welcome back to You Are in New Zealand, brought to you by INCRadio New Zealand Satellite Studio. And as we move on for today's episode, we can see that a lot of viewers are so excited. We will read some of your greetings po. Good afternoon po mga kapatid. Happy tuning in. Hashtag Masay NZ North from Sister Cherry Santayo. We also have here from Sister Maris Bongares, hello po, happy viewing po sa lahat ng mga kapatid. From Sister Chloe Gonzalez, happy viewing po from Cromwell and Queenstown, hashtag New Zealand South. Greetings po to our District Minister Ka Oshel and Ate Maris Bongares and to all brethren. How about you po, Sister Denise? Any greetings you can read from
Yes, sister. I also have here Sister Marine Iglesia. Happy viewing po from the local of Papakura, New Zealand North. From Brother Rainier Lance del Rosario from the Kajonas, Kakris, Carinier po, watching po from New Zealand North. From Brother Ramon Jr. Sonoria, happy viewing po from the local congregation of Rotorua, District of New Zealand North. From Brother Rudy Iglesia, there's no, sorry po. From Brother Noel Desilio. Hello po mga kapatid. Watching po from the local congregation of Hamilton East. Hello po mga kapatid na nasa Hamilton. And also from Brother Mario Oka. Good morning here in the Philippines and enjoying watching here in INC Radio New Zealand Satellite Studio. Greetings po from local of Brixtonville, District of Caloocan North. Hello po, brothers and sisters. And let's go back to our topic for today. And we have here Brother Derek. Our guest for today is Brother Derek Vivas po, an HR officer. So today's topic is something that causes anxiety for so many people. Ako po talaga yan. Natatakot po ako sa job interviews. And but we're not just talking about how to get through them. We're diving into the secret to enjoying job interviews.
Exactly, Sister Eldenise. It might sound impossible, but with the right approach, interviews can be an opportunity you can enjoy and even look forward to. We'll break that down for you in today's show. And with that, Brother Derek, back to our question earlier, before moving in into more serious stuff. Can you please explain further that funny moments that you can remember during interviews?
Just a bit of background. I do a lot of recruitment within the blue collar side of things. So usually when there is a requirement, um, clients will call you, Derek, I need 20 workers in the construction site that I'm working on in 2 weeks' time. Then if they would need 20, I would interview 50 or to 60. Of course, the type of recruitment that I do is very fast paced. You have 2 weeks and you need to interview 60. So there will be times that you do you forget you forget their CV, you forget to print them out because hour by hour you have to interview someone and then you forgot to print the person's CV and you go in there and sit there. Who's this person again? And then so you have to ask the question like, oh, how's your day and what are you applying for? And you get to know the person and you start picking it up. If I do forget those the person's details, I would extract the information on the interview. And surprisingly, I would remember them, although I forgot to print that CV. That CV would help. Yeah.
Yes, brother. And you said a while ago that your first question will be tell me something about yourself. And that's a very nerve-wracking question. The first question in all
Mm,
the interviews that I had. So how do you help you applicants feel more comfortable during these interviews?
the type of individuals that I recruit are skilled workers on the blue collar side of industry. Anyone from that blue collar level, there's already an expectation from me that a lot of them are actually not used to interviews and in situations, meetings like this. So whenever they enter that door, I already know they'll be quite nervous. So how do I make them feel less nervous? Is by leveling with them. The moment they step into the door and I see what they like, then I would mimic how they behave. So I relate with them. The more that I relate with them, I would connect with them. And the more that I would connect with them, I would be able to that person would be more comfortable in talking and also in he'll be more comfortable in the interview and talking about himself and his experience. So you've got to bring a very comfortable environment for that person because when that person is nervous, you won't be able to get much information from them. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that will really help the applicants with the nervousness. It will lessen, talagang mababawasan po yung pagka-nervous po ng ating mga applicants, right po? And what do you think is one mistake you see from new applicants po before they go to the interviewers?
When the nervousness and anxiety takes over them, you do get individuals that they won't be able to finish the interview because they just couldn't talk. Um, as much as we would like to make them comfortable, I would offer, would you like to have a glass of water? Do you need a couple of minutes? I would entertain them. But because of all the technical questions that I ask them, they won't be able to answer, then it becomes, a very unsuccessful application. But there's a lot of factors into that. Sometimes you would ask as an interviewer, why is this person nervous? Does this person know what the job entails? Does the person knows the level of competency that we needed? Those are red flags as well, because if you're nervous, then there must be something that you're not confident about. That's another one. So you have to, as an interviewer, as a consultant, a recruiter, I have to read between the lines. Is this person coming in here not knowing what he signed up for, or that's why he's nervous, or he's just really nervous naturally as a person? So I have to play around that because at the end of the day, even if a person is nervous on an interview or in a meeting, they might be very, very good in the job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there's a two different skill set. Having to sit down in a meeting is another skill set, but being able to be on the job field
other
is different
field.
as well. Yes.
Yes
Yeah.
po. Why do you think po, Brother Derek, that why are they scared with interviews?
That's a very good question, sister. The type of people or group of people that I interviewed on the trades, they're not very used to that situation, that setting. Um, meetings have being put on a spot. It's not everyone's background and exposure. Um, Other factors can be language barrier. We do interview people that the English is a second language. Other ones is they're not very used to a formal setting. Um, Others are very conscious because if you ask them a question, they're afraid that their answer might be wrong. Those are the psychology of the people that I interview on a day-to-day basis goes on their heads. But the beauty about it is me as an interviewer and a recruiter and understanding expertising in this type of sector industry, I already know. Okay, I already know what to expect to them, and I already know what could go wrong. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm declining them.
Yeah.
If I could squeeze more information, if I could get the right vitamins that I need, although they're nervous, they have chances of getting the job. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
Brother Derek. And with that, Brother Derek, what are some simple things applicants can do to feel more confident before stepping into an interview?
Okay, so first of all, being nervous and being anxious is normal. You step into an environment, you meet new people, it's normal. There's nothing wrong with it. And And I'm just doing a recap. And also to being able to get into the interview and being asked all those questions is nerve-wracking. That's fun. When a person sits on an interview, they need to have a control of their emotions. When you control, you're calm, you're breathing. It's okay to take your time in answering the questions. Don't rush into it immediately. Control, if you control, you're calm. The next thing, if they ask you that question and the moment you're controlling your breathing and your behavior, how you respond, you're formulating an answer. When you answer, you need to be concise, direct to the point. And when it's concise, you connect with that person and to the interviewer. When they ask you a certain question, you need to be very specific. By being specific to your answers, it entails a lot of being able to be calm and control in the situation. And it's a very hard thing to master. Even myself, as an interviewer, when I am recruiting for a very, very high caliber roles, I'm talking about a client will call me and say, I entrust you this big role, recruit me the best. That would because some companies do not have time to do recruitment and HR stuff, they approach my expertise. I get nervous about that as well. Yeah. Because I need to bring the best to bring it to the company. Yeah.
And with that, Brother Derek, about answers, should people rehearse answers too?
Um no. What a person needs to rehearse when they entering an interview is the job description. Is the job description suited for you? Is it really for you? What are the work hours like? What about the pay rate? Does it suit your lifestyle? And also practicing and learning about the company. Yep, it's a good company. That's why you applied. The question is, does it suit you? There may be times that it's a good job, but then they will tell you to require certain type of hours. And then if you're an Iglesia Ni Cristo member, it doesn't meet your schedule in serving our Lord God. You won't be able to attend the worship service. You won't be able to perform your duties, your office, but it's a good job. Yeah. So because at the end of the day, when you go in there and you say, I love this job, but then they like you and they want to hire you, but they go, oh, actually, unfortunately, I can't work in these certain hours because I have um, a certain obligation outside work. You won't be successful because they have a requirement already. Those are the things that you need to study. Those are the things that you need to ask and query because whenever you apply for a job, you can actually call the interviewer, the HR or the recruiter. You ask them, "Hey, I was just wondering, what are the hours like? It says here, you have to work in these certain hours and I'm not available. Is that still considerable?" And if they go, "No, we need someone to be flexible in their hours," then don't even step into the interview. There's no point. You won't be successful. Yeah. So, when it comes to rehearsing, do not rehearse for the interview. You'll get more nervous, but learn and rehearse the company, the interviewers, what they're like. You can actually find them on, their details on the website and the company and the job description. Yeah.
How about Brother Derek? Have you had like experience with like where the applicant sounds as a
Bot.
virtual assistant already? Because they keep on rehearsing they already memorized the expected answer to the questions. Have you had experience with that already po?
Yes. Years of experience meeting different types of people and individuals. I can tell if they're being genuine.
Mm.
Um, I can tell if they're nervous. I can tell if they are actually faking their background and their experience.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's chill, Brother Derek.
yeah. Because it's not complicated. How do I put this in a simple way? If my client wants me to recruit, oh, sorry, wants me to deliver an apple, let's say an apple, yeah, you need to be accurate. You need to give them an apple. You can't give them an apple that is cut enough, or it's rotten, or it's
Yeah.
not edible. It's a very simple um, logic, I'd say. So when you get into an interview, you're going to find, when I said I'm shopping for an apple, you need to find the best apple. Yeah. So it's the same thing when you're interviewing. If I'm trying to get the best applicant, I would see a certain type of behavior, the way they behave, the way they answer the question. I can even identify if they're not sure about their answer. They're not convinced. I can feel it. And
Yeah.
sometimes I would rephrase a benefit of a doubt. You sounded really nervous. Could you rephrase? It doesn't sound you're convinced about your answer. And then maybe they're nervous. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's another one. Or maybe they're trying to find ways to go around it, so they'll be the successful applicant, and it's not verifiable and it's not credible. And I could figure that out in an instant. Yeah.
So,
How about
Derek, what are you looking for when you interview someone?
Um, very transparent, genuine individual. Transparency, being transparent, being open, being genuine, and having the ability to have a growth mindset is very important. Sometimes when we're trying to find a high caliber role, that person might be just an 8 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10. But why would sometimes I'd pick an 8 out of 10? Because he can still develop the 9 in 10 because of that person's personality, that person's willing or to learn. He's driven, he's confident, he has a type of personality that we're after that could fit the culture. Whereas there are those that are 10 out of 10. They cannot be taught anymore. They have the personality, I'm the best, I'm perfect, which it it is good in a way, but you need to always have a space to develop and grow. And companies love that. Always have the willingness to have a growth mindset, willing to learn new things, and being able to grow um, as a person and also within the career.
You're so insightful, brother Derek. I'm really learning a lot from you.
That's
And I'm
right.
even reflecting right now, am I doing that when I had the interview? It's so insightful, brother. So do you have this like the a memorable job interview experience po?
I mentioned earlier there was this 8 out of 10 person that I
Yeah.
interviewed. There's a lot of them actually.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of convincing a company. They said he's just 8 out of 10, but he's got a very awesome personality, growth mindset, and it's a lot of influencing to the client that you're recruiting for because they always want 10 out of 10. That's just the reality of it. Came in there, very young individual out of all the individual that I interviewed, confident, firm grip of handshake, has that able, and it gives me an indication this person can control the room in a meeting. So I asked the question, I did all my competency check, and the person would just answer in a very concise manner. It connects to me. And the surprising part about it, he would also ask me to reassure that did I answer you correctly? That person would ask me, can I ask you more info about the job? This is how I interpreted it. Being able to engage into that critical thinking question is a very, very like up for me. Like that's awesome. Yeah.
Nice. That's true,
Because it
brother.
shows that individual is very interested in the role and very highly motivated. Mm.
There's a question here, brother. What if I blanked out on a question? So what can they do?
It's normal. You will
Yeah.
blank out, but don't blank out for like 20 seconds or 30 seconds. If you blank out, you ask the question. There's two reasons why you blank out. Either you did not understand the question, or you don't know how to answer it. If you don't know how to answer it, then you just said, I don't know how to answer it. But maybe perhaps can you just rephrase it in another type of question that will be easier to me? But that's not a question of your expertise and capability. There are some people that we're interviewing, English is their second language. And there are some people out there, when you interview them, English is their first language. And when you ask them the question, it depends on their comprehension skills. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're not fit for the job. So when you block and you couldn't quite understand, sorry, can you just rephrase your question? There's nothing wrong with it. And then they would try to simplify it as best as they can, and then take your time to comprehend the question and answer it concise and accordingly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm
will
learning
take
a lot,
from that.
brother. Really. It's like I should have done that.
I've only
And
been to one interview po, so I know what will I do on the next job interview na mararanasan ko.
yeah, Sister Jessica, you should listen a lot.
Yes po. And I believe po, before we move on po to other questions that we left for Brother Derek, I believe that it's time for Let's Catch Up.
Let's catch up.
Welcome to Let's Catch Up at 2:30 p.m. Actually, 1:30 p.m. sharp or 9:30 a.m. Philippine time. We'll be opening the lines for you to give live shoutouts to your friends and family. If you're interested in joining, drop us an email at letscatchupnz@gmail.com. I guess we can see that on the screen po. Just send us your name and contact info and we'll reach out to you. So with that, we have a lots of greetings po as we continue with our topic. Good morning here in the Philippines and enjoy watching here on INC Radio New Zealand Satellite Studio. Greetings from local of Brixtonville, District of Caloocan North from Brother Mario Oka. We also have one. See you po on Monday. Hashtag NZ South UG. Ayan, mag-unity games na po ang New Zealand South. Mag-uumpisa na. Also, we have one from the Rochelle Garcia. Happy birthday po, Paul, from local of Congregation of Papakura District of New Zealand North, and happy viewing for all of us. Happy birthday po, Brother Paul. And we also have one from Brother Glenn Limin. Happy viewing po from local of Fitzgerald, New Zealand South. And before I forget, Brother Derek, do you have anyone that you would want to shout out po to greet?
Hello po. I'd like to greet my wife, Sister Charmaine Vivas. Hello, bebe. Second one is my family, the Vivas family. I'm sure they're tuning in with me at the moment and having a good laugh about my big guesting for today. And also to all the brethren from the local congregation of Manukau South po.
How
How
about you,
about you,
Sister?
Sister Jessica?
I was about to ask
Ikaw
you.
muna.
Okay po, greetings po to from local congregation of Cromwell and Queenstown, District of New Zealand North, and to our resident minister, Brother Irani Gonzalez and family, and to our district supervising minister, Brother Oshel Bongares, and the district minister po of New Zealand North, Brother Dennis Dahunan. How about you po, Sister Denise?
Yes po. I would like to greet also all the brethren here in Cromwell. Hello po, brother, to our resident minister, brother Irani Gonzalez and her wife, Sister Chloe. Hello po, and all the brethren here in Cromwell and in Queenstown. Hello to my husband. Hi, brother Noel, and hello po to our district supervising minister. Hello po, Kaushel. And to all our
to Kaglen. Hello po, Kaglen.
No.
I think that's all po.
How about the greetings po of our brethren in the comment section po? YouTube live chat.
Okay, let's have po our greetings and our YouTube live chat from Sister Yelin Larica. Happy viewing po from local ng Papakura, New Zealand North. From Unspeakable, happy birthday po, Brother Gilbert Laron. Ay, happy birthday po, Brother Gilbert Laron from
Birthday po.
Queenstown on Monday. Happy birthday. Advance po. From Brother Raffner De Castro, happy viewing po ka Glenn Limen and family. From Sister Faye Ann Awa, happy viewing po, Waikanay and Z North. From Brother Kevin K.D. Reyes, watching po mula sa lokal ng Fitzgerald South. Happy from Sister Maris Bungares. Hello po ka, Derek Vivas. Hello daw po. And I think that's all for our Let's Catch Up, Sister Jessica.
Let's catch up.
Hello, lunchmates!
Discover how engaging in sports, arts, and clubs can help students develop important life skills and build lasting friendships. This Sunday, April 27, learn how extracurricular activities enhance social skills and foster teamwork and leadership. From 11 a.m. to 12 noon, Philippine Standard Time. Only at
INCRadio Hong Kong Satellite Studio, your Sunday lunch date.
Sa mababa ng mundo, palagi konektado sa lahat ng mga tao. This is INC Radio, anywhere in the world, oh. We're always together, connected to everyone, life will be better. Sama-sama halina sa INC Radio International na. Ito palaging konektado ka sa INC Radio na.
Ko Chennai Cherayo Irirangi INC Radio DZEM 954. Che Correro Facapono, Ko Cherayo Irirangi Oche Hahi, Karaiti Farek Harakia.
And we are back again po to our discussion. Once again, we have our very special guest, Derek Vivas, who is a senior recruitment consultant for a recruitment company in New Zealand with 7 years of experience in trades and labor within construction, manufacturing, and logistics. Yan. And so, Derek, back to you po. Back to our questions and answer. What's something people forget that would really help them enjoy the interview?
Being human. And unfortunately, individuals, whenever they step into an interview, they put too much expectation within themselves. By putting too much expectation within themselves, you're not gonna give out good results. It's when you put too much expectation in yourself, you're actually beating yourself, and it causes a lot of negativity, emotionally and mentally. It creates insecurities as well. We all understand that interviews are formal setting. There are reasons for that. But when you go in there, you need to be as human as you can, be real to yourself, be genuine. There is nothing wrong with being you coming into an interview, being real to yourself and genuine, and you've done your interviews really well, you've answered accordingly, and you were unsuccessful. It just happens that there's a better applicant. It's also be a competition, you know. That's the reason why um that's one of the things that people forget when they step in an interview, and also why they fail as well.
Brother Derek, what should people do to prepare an interview?
Like as I've mentioned earlier, when you're preparing for an interview, before applying, read the job advert. A lot of the information from the job advertisement is already detailing there what is going to be on the interview. In when you study the job advert, and you study the company, then that's already indicating to us recruiters, interviewers, okay, this person's actually doing his homework. This is a good indication. Not just coming in there and seeing the job title, oh, that's for me. Yep, you read the job title, but have you actually read in full details? And also another thing to prepare is you can actually call the interviewer or the recruiter or the HR on there's a phone on the job advert for more information. Call this number. The more you extract more information about the job, the more that you will become prepared. And then when you are convinced that this job is for you, you send your CV and apply. And also preparing a good CV. Recruiters, interviewers, HR, we only like our second page, two page long interview. Don't be too long. And it has to be brief and concise. Don't
Yes.
write an essay. Yeah, it's I usually fall asleep like on when I reach the first page. I usually recruiters tend to just read. There's a study about this. So whenever they look at a paper, the heat signature of the eye side, they always look at the middle of the paper. We usually just skim read it, and then it's like it's like on the corners of the paper, it's like they don't really focus into it. When you put the best, writing or the vitamins on the page, like the main points of your experience in the middle of that page, because when we look at it, okay, okay, yep, yep, you know, we can identify immediately if that person's suited. So having the right format of the CV, putting it in the middle, like your skills and expertise, and having a good write-up CV helps a lot. Yeah.
Copy, Brother Derek. I'll
Noted po. Take a note.
Yeah. Yeah, remember there's that if you
later,
start
Brother
you can
Derek.
search it on the internet, like heat signatures, how people read the CVs and where their eyes are actually like interviewers and employers looking at the paper, and you will see it's always like mainly in the middle or in the end. Yeah.
Copy, Brother Derek.
Mm.
Noted po.
And it's true. Yeah.
Nakalimut.
Learning a lot po talaga. Brother Derek is really the perfect guest for today's episode, right, Ate Denise?
Yes, Sister Jessica. And Brother Derek, I have a question. Are we allowed to ask question?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because you're engaging. It's you want the clarity of the job, and it's giving an impression to an interviewer like us, this person actually take his career seriously. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. In fact, even in the middle of the interview or the end of the interview, or even in the beginning of interview, we ask them this: do you have any questions before we start? when
Yes,
you are
right.
in the middle when you're in the middle of the interview, usually, actually, do you have any questions? And then at the end of the interview, okay, that is all for us. Thank you for coming. Do you have any questions? Yeah.
Mm. Or do you have like sample questions, Brother Derek, na natanong na sa'yo? Interesting questions.
Never ask about the pay.
Oh, really?
Because you know what? When we post a job advertisement, we already put the pay there. So do you do your homework?
So it's non-negotiable. The pay
Uh,
and the advertisement.
it is negotiable. The best person, sorry, the best question you could put,
Mhm.
for you to have a better salary increase and stuff. Is there any career development and opportunities for me? Because if you develop and you have a career opportunity, chances of getting a pay increase is high. But that doesn't mean because you've upgraded and you've been developed to another level of your career, then you get a pay increase. It really depends on the employer. Yeah, career opportunities. Also, what is the culture like of the company? You
Mm.
asked that. What's it like? Ask that. Reason being, I brought this information and this topic is because there are employers out there that their culture does not align to us members of the Iglesia ni Cristo.
Yeah, that's true, Brother
So you
Derek.
need
That's
to
true.
ask that. Yeah.
Mhm. I think
Um. hmm,
Sister Jessica's taking note na po.
yeah.
She's looking forward to her
I,
next interview.
I I forgot to put that on the reels. I should have put that on the reels. Like I forgot to record it. That was a good one. That was a good one. Because I recorded the first
Yeah.
part and I was like, oh no, I didn't record the second part. Yeah.
Yes po.
Mm.
It's because like some of the applicants are scared of asking questions. Like they thought it's not respectful or something like that po
Yeah.
to ask.
That's a very, very good question. I'll tell you something. In every countries, there is cultural differences when it comes to interview.
Yes.
In some countries, there is that level of I am the employer, authoritative, and then the applicant is needs to respect the employer, right? That's well and good. That's a cultural thing. If you're in New Zealand, you need to level with them. When we say level with them, talk to them as how you talk a human being. Yeah, but not in a sense that you're overly confident that you know it all. There's a fine balance of being respectful, but not in a way that you're you're thinking of them like some well high caliber individual. If I perceive if we perceive it like that, some employers they will be like, okay, what's the confidence level of this person? It thus raises an alarm. Um, um, Maybe this person's not competent with the job that he's applying for. Being able to connect, level with them, speaking in equal terms is very important. Um, and if you have that mentality that an employer or interviewer and HR is higher than you, it creates a lot of anxiety. When you create a lot of anxiety, you will get nervous in the interview. When you get nervous in the interview, it won't go well for you, unfortunately, because you won't be able to express what you want to express. Because in every interview, you are selling yourself to the employer because you want this job. Yeah.
Yes, brother. That's what I really admire in New Zealand. Interviews in New Zealand. The interviewers are so like you can talk to them.
Yeah, relax, chill.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Like in a conversation way, not like you're having an interview.
mm.
It's like it's just like you're just talking to them and giving stories like that. And
Yes,
it's very nice.
yes, that's a good way to start having that insight.
Yeah.
Being conversational is very important. Mm.
Noted po. And with that, Brother Derek, What's your final advice po for anyone walking into an interview this week?
Um, yeah, just be yourself. Um, Being confident is very important. Overly confident is really bad. Um, if you're overly confident, it ruins the organic side of the process. As best as you can, you need to be very human when you're in the interview, but also at the same time, carrying your abilities and your skill set. When you are being asked a question, you need to be calm, control the situation, be concise to your answer, and make sure those answers that are concise is connecting to the interviewer. One key factors that the interview is doing well is when they keep asking you a lot of questions. If I keep you asking a lot of questions, it means I'm intrigued. I want to know more. If interviews goes on for about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, it's doing well because they're getting to know you. And when everyone's having a good laugh on the interview, it means your interview is going well. Also, yes, what else? Prepare a good CV, read the job advertisement, and also read the job description. It is very important.
That is so good po, Derek. Luckily, we can rewatch this episode po. So I think
And lastly, and lastly, for us members of the Church of Christ, always pray to God to be directed what is the right job for you. In human standards, we all think that whenever we apply for a job, we think it's the dream job for us. But whenever you think that way, you need to consult job. We need to consult our Lord God and ask them like, okay, I think this job is good for me, but ask for guidance because it may not be good for God, in God's sight. There are a lot of factors. Our human beings like us, our capability of thinking ahead is very limited, but God sees everything. It may be good for now, but then in the long run, it might affect your services. Your job might affect your services to our Lord God. So those are the things that you need to keep an eye out whenever you're preparing to step into a new career and preparing yourself and finding a new job.
Yes, Brother Derek, that's the best advice for our brethren who are having their interview this week. Pray, please pray, brethren. And that will be your best um ano yun, yung best na baon nyo sa interview nyo for this week. Di ba po? And lastly, Brother Derek, I have a question. In 3 words, what is the perfect interview for you?
Hmm. Well, I got stuck there. Now you're
Yeah.
actually interviewing. What is the perfect interview for you?
Yeah. What do you think?
Confident,
Mm-hmm.
driven, humble. Being humble. Those three key things. When you say confident, it doesn't mean you're like arrogant. There's nothing wrong with being confident. A confident person can be afraid, can be can have anxiety. But when the person is confident, he does not show it. Yeah. There's a lot of situations in my career I'm always nervous. I'm always challenged and I'm always on the edge of my seat. But by remaining calm and you're confident and having that conviction in your job, yeah, you're gonna go well. What was the second one that I said? Sorry, confident. No, I
Driven,
forgot.
driven po,
Oh,
driven.
driven. When you're driven, it means you have a growth mindset. You want to you want to develop, you want to grow in your career, but as a person, which is a good skill set to have. Not being stagnant. Like, yeah, I just want to be here. That's it. That's not good. You need to keep growing and humble. By being humble, the more that you become successful, you need to remain humble. Because by being humble, it means you are always open for corrections. You're always open for improvement. You're always open to grow as a person. And without humility, yes, you're confident, you're driven, but you have no humility. It's always gonna go sideways to you. Like it's not you're not gonna do well in life. Um, People nowadays tend to in the years of my career tend to not see the difference of being humble. They think when you're humble, you just like don't say anything and you're quiet. You're just very passive. No, that's not true. Yeah, but yeah. So that's a very those are the three important skill sets. Yeah,
Wow.
Confident, driven, and humble. Thank you
yeah.
so much for Brother Derek.
Thank you so much, Brother Derek. You know, Brother Derek, we still have a lot of questions for you. But I think we don't have time anymore.
Okay, but
Wala
yeah.
na po tayong time. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing your knowledge and experiences with us. You've given our listeners a fresh and positive perspective on how interviews can actually be something to enjoy and not to fear. Right, Sister Jessica?
Yes, Sister Eldini. So to wrap it all up, job interviews don't have to be a nightmare. With preparation, presence, and a positive mindset, or confident, driven, and humble, they can actually be a confidence boosting experience. Until next time, stay curious, stay confident, and keep striving for success.
And remember what we've talked about today. Being real matters more than being perfect. And the interviews are not just a test, they're a chance to tell your story and see if you belong in that workplace.
Thank you for tuning in to our Workplace Success series. Until next time, stay prepared, stay positive, and remember, every interview is a chance to shine. Of course, we would also want to extend our gratitude to Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our Executive Minister, for his unwavering love and care to all the brethren, and to Brother Angelo Eranio V. Manalo, our Christian Family Organization overall coordinator, for having the INC Radio New Zealand. And of course, to our guest tonight, once again, thank you so much po, Brother Derek Vivas. We've learned a lot po. And a huge thank you to our dedicated district staff in the Ecclesiastical District of New Zealand North and South for their constant support of INC Radio New Zealand Satellite Studio, and to the hardworking members of the Multimedia Bureau and behind the scenes crew, and to our INC Radio family and INC Radio main tech, and of course to our viewers and listeners. Thank you so much po for tuning in today's episode.
That's your teacher, Sister Jessica. Keep watching, liking, and sharing our INC Radio New Zealand Satellite Studio link on YouTube. And be sure to hit that subscribe button. Next week, our topic is coping strategies for working students. See you next week, same time, same station. Thanks, everyone. This is INC Radio New Zealand signing off. Stay tuned for INC Radio Texas right after show. Bye po!
Po.